Yo, what's going on, guys? Today I'm going to tell you everything that I know about Nitara and how you can learn how to play her yourself. I go by Deoxys in the Mortal Kombat community, and I've been maining this character ever since this game came out. But before we get into the guide, I want to give a quick shout out to DashFight for reaching out to me. Definitely make sure to subscribe to them if you want to see more character guides, and make sure to check out their website for everything FGC related. The first thing that I want to talk about is Nitara's archetype and what her main strength is. So in this game, I would consider Nitara a glass cannon character, meaning that she can get really high damage, but she is very, very risky to play. I would say that her main strength in this game revolves around her movement, which looks like this. It revolves around her air dash. So her air dash is extremely fast. You can use it in all different directions, and you can kind of use it however you want to. I would say this is a very flexible move, but it is a very risky move if you use it up close. As you can see, if you jump around them, they can anti-air you or up block you at any point if you do this into a jump in. So I would say that my main things that I like to use her air dash for are to run away, and you can kind of like zone if you want. If you have low hat or Serena, you can use it kind of to like keep away. You can use it to jump over projectiles like this and get in on them and start your pressure. You can use it to bait anti-airs. This is one of the things that I really like about it. You can jump at them and kind of like bait their uppercut, and then you can whiff punish them, if that makes sense. So there's really a lot of ways that you can use her air dash. It's just really up to you and who you're fighting against. The next thing that I'm going to talk about is Nitara's best buttons and strings. So we'll start with her jab string, which is 1-2-1-2. This launches them on hit for a full combo, like this. However, it's really unsafe on block. So if you do the first two hits and you see that they're blocking, you want to cancel it into 1-2-4, because that's -3. The next string that I'll talk about is her forward 1-2. This is her main mid. It's an 11 frame startup, so it's pretty fast for a mid. It has okay range. It's pretty decent. You can like backdash into it, and that's really good for whiff punishing pokes. However, you can't hit confirm it. This is probably her main weakness, I would say. So you kind of have to just take your damage and accept it, or you can whiff punish, and if you can react to them whiffing, then you'll get a full combo. This is also -7 on block, so it's unsafe versus some people, so you kind of have to stagger it in some cases. The next string that I'll talk about is back 2-4. This is her overhead string, and it has a 28 frame startup. So I wouldn't really use it for mix because this is insanely reactable. However, it has a really unique property where if they are doing a low poke like this, you can actually float over it and get a full combo for it. Like this. So it's really good for neutral. It's just a little bit slow, so I would keep that in mind. The next button that I'm going to talk about is stand 4. This is her only plus normal, so it's +4 and has a 10 frame startup. It's pretty decent. I would say it's really good after a jump in, because this allows you to keep your pressure going, and then you can do something like down 4 after. What I like to do, for example, is I like to do stand 4, down 4, and then you can kind of like reset neutral. Or if you confirm that the jump in hits, you can convert that for a full combo. The last really good button, I would say this is one of her best moves, is her sweep. It's a double hitting low, and you can cancel the first hit into specials like this. I would say it's really, really good for backdashing into it because of its range. And you can actually confirm if somebody's pressing. So for example, one really good thing that I like to use it for is if they like to poke back with a down 1. So you can see if I'm doing my pressure, like I said, if I do stand 4, sometimes they'll try to mash or do something else, and I can do stand 4, backdash, and I can confirm that they poked and get a full combo for it. So there's some really interesting uses for it. I would say that this is definitely one of her best neutral buttons, and for just checking them overall. Now I'm going to talk about some of her more niche buttons that I would really only use like with certain cameos, like Goro. The first one is 2-2-1. This string is really unsafe if you do the whole thing, but it does let you convert for a full combo. So you can do this into a dive kick and get a full combo. The stagger is -6, so that's actually an advantage over 1-2, which is -7. So this leaves her a bit safer. However, if I do this on block, for example, I'm really unsafe, and you can see that I have to cancel it into an air dash, and I'm really vulnerable in this state because this is really minus. This has almost no advantage, and they can press like instantly. So you really have to flow backwards if you use it like that. Another really niche button is 3-4. This isn't cancelable, so you have to use this with an assist like Goro. And this will actually combo if you use it with Goro. So that's pretty interesting as well, but it's not a real mix-up. So I personally don't use this as much, but you might find that you like it. The last niche string that I will cover is forward 3-4. This string is really bad if you don't have a cameo that will make you safe, because on block, this is really unsafe. And it's also not special cancelable. So you can't cancel any part of this other than forward 4, which I'll talk about in a little bit. But with certain cameos like Goro, this actually becomes a jailing pressure string. So this jails and is +7 if you do it properly. It can go up to +7 at most, and this will actually convert into a full combo with the same timing. So it's actually really nice for assists like Goro, or if you're having low hat on the ground. Other than that, I really wouldn't use that move. Before I move on, I really want to talk about how good Nitara's down 2 is as well, and I feel like this deserves its own section because her down 2 is one of the absolute best in the whole game. You can see that it's very reliable against even someone like Johnny Cage, who has one of the harder jump-ins to deal with. A lot of characters have a hard time anti-airing it, but you can see if I jump kick, it's extremely reliable. It's very fast. They almost never are able to hit you out of it, and it can even hit really close up like this, and you can get a full combo for it. It's a really, really good down 2. Another pretty interesting thing about Nitara is that she has the unique ability to cancel certain normals into air specials. So for example, if you use a move like stand 3, this actually makes her airborne, so you can cancel this into an air dash, for example, or you can cancel it into a dive kick. Anything that is an air special. You could even flow backwards if you really wanted to regain neutral. So she could do this off of stand 3. She could do this off of forward 4. She could do it off of back 2. And she can do it off of 2-2-1. Like this. I would say that the main 2 things that it's useful for are back 2. So if you whiff punish a poke, for example, you can get a full combo off of it, or maintain pressure. And I think this is also useful off of 2-2-1. Because if you combo this, you can do a whiff dive kick and keep the combo going. Like this. Next, I'm going to talk about some of her special moves. So her back forward 1, I would say by itself is not really that useful. But as an armored move, it's a high attack with armor, and it leaves them in kind of like a stun state, so you can dash up and get free pressure. Also, a really unique thing about this is it can actually launch them. If you get knocked down, you can do something like that. So with certain cameos, this will launch. So with Lao's teleport, if you hold it, and with Motaro's teleport, both of those launch with her EX fit. So I would say that that's one really good thing about those 2 cameos. You can also do this as a reversal, obviously, so you can get like a reversal through gaps and get a full combo for it. Her next special move is back forward 2. This is a really good combo ender for optimal damage, and it's good for extending combos as well. So if you meter burn it, it pops them in the air and you get a full combo. This is also a really decent whiff punish. So as I was saying before, you can use Nitara's mobility like this. So if you bait like a string or something, you whiff punish them. It's really, really nice for something like that. You just have to make sure that when you do it, it's guaranteed punish, because if they bait you or something like with a jab, obviously that's punishable. Another really interesting thing about that is that if they throw a projectile when they're close to you, you can actually whip punish it for a full combo if you duck underneath it like that. And I think it can even go like somewhere like, yeah, like all the way back here, which is pretty far, I'm not gonna lie. So they have to be really careful about throwing projectiles when you're in about this range. And it's really easy to get to that range. All it takes is one float forward, you know what I'm saying? So it's really good to do something like that and get used to. The next special move I'll talk about is her down back 2. So this is actually probably the best anti-air in the game in my opinion. If they're jumping, look at how far this goes. And it's very easy to react with as well. So I'll actually put them to jump forward because that's most likely what they'll do. But you can see it's extremely fast, and it also is able to cancel into air moves like this. And if you anti-air, you get a full combo. It is crazy. You have to use that move as an anti-air. It's really good. Another thing about it is that you can actually use it in pressure. So if I set them to block, this is a really risky way to pressure, but you can do something like this. You can do down back 2 into an air float. So yes, you can actually cancel this into other air moves like that. So you can do float forward. You could float straight if you wanted to. You could float upward if you think they're going to try to anti-air you and punish them. One thing that I think is really smart is to actually use it to regain neutral, so you could do something like that. But keep in mind, it does cost a bar every time you do it. But it is a really good way to catch them off guard and keep the pressure going. Just keep in mind that they can anti-air you and up block any of those jump-ins, so just keep that in mind. Her EX down back 2 is a little bit different. You can actually cancel this into air normals, and you can cancel it into air specials without costing bar. So you can see if I do this, that costs bar, right? But if I do this, it costs no bar. The only thing is this actually has a little bit slower of a cancel time than her normal one. So you can see you have to kind of wait a second, but her normal one, it's like instant. So just keep that in mind when you decide which one you want to use. But it is pretty good for like reading an anti-air, and if they don't do it, you get free pressure. You know what I'm saying? So definitely keep that in mind. Her next special move is her dive kick, which is extremely fast recovery. Like this recovers instantly, basically. Like no recovery. You can see you can press really fast. From full screen, you can get all the way in on them for free, basically. You can also use it to dive kick over projectiles, because if you meter burn it, it'll actually pop them up. So if they throw a projectile, you can actually dive kick over it. Oh, like that. And you'll get a full combo for it. So yeah, this is unsafe on block. Just keep that in mind. But if you can react to them whiffing a button or a projectile and you want to like fly over it, you can get a full combo for that. And it's really, really good. It's also good to cancel a float into it, because you can kind of like, you know, use your pressure and then float in like that. It's really, really nice. The next thing that I want to talk about is Nitara's Blood Sacrifice. It's down forward 4. This is a really interesting move because I think that it has a lot of uses, but there's also a lot of things bad about it. So first of all, let's start with the fact that whenever you use it, you lose 5% of your health, okay? Also, whenever you do the EX version, if you're next to them, you actually get health back and take health from them, which is really interesting. If you're able to pressure them and stay next to them, this is really strong, and I think it's worth doing. She changes a lot of the properties on her moves whenever she uses it. So think of it kind of like a buff, okay? Whenever she uses it, her back forward 1 does damage over time. So if you look at their health, they lose a little bit extra health. I think about like 3% maybe. So that's kind of interesting. Whenever she does back forward 2 during this buff, she gets a little bit of health back, but you can see that it doesn't get all of her health back. And lastly, she gets access to a projectile. So she can do back forward 3. And a really interesting thing about this is that it's double hitting, so it can break armor. And you can cancel this into air specials. I'm not gonna lie, if you're watching this video and you want to get good with Nitara, do not touch that move. It is garbage. It is garbage. There is not a single reason you would ever use this. The only thing that I can ever think to use this is if they are low health and you want to zone. You can do this full screen. You can do this at all different ranges, and you can kind of just like get those last few hits. Other than that, I want to see you succeed. Do not use this move under any circumstance. It is honestly one of the worst moves in the game, and it's completely pointless. Also, keep this in mind too. Whenever you're in this buff, if you use any move that has a property that gets changed, this goes away instantly. So I'll prove that by doing this, and I'll do her spit. You can see that I don't have the health steal property anymore. If I do this and I get my 5% back, I don't have the health steal property anymore. So if you use this move, you have to just keep in mind that anytime you use a move that benefits from it, you're gonna lose that blood sacrifice instantly. Very briefly, before I get to the combo section, I want to talk about some of Nitara's best cameos and why. I will say that Kung Lao, Shijinko, and Jax, in my opinion, are some of her best cameos. I think Lao covers kind of everything that she struggles with. He allows her to counter zone. He allows her to keep pressure going with low hat, and she can hold low hat and even do like some overhead setups. I think the synergy is really nice. He also allows her to combo her armor, as I demonstrated earlier. Shijinko allows her to hit confirm her mid and her sweep if he steals a launcher, which I think is really good. And Jax, I think, is really good because it's very hard to open people up with her, and Jax's unblockable setups synergize really well with a lot of her air movement and her air normals as well. Sub-Zero, I think, is an interesting one as well because with the ice armor, it allows you to get in a lot easier if you're dealing with projectiles, and he can also freeze them and you get a free blood sacrifice, which is pretty interesting as well. Now we're gonna get to the fun part of Nitara, and this is what really makes her cool. So I'm gonna kind of go through every combo and explain what each one is good for, and all the notations are gonna be on the screen for them. So we'll start with 1-2-1-2. This is her meterless B&B. It's her standard combo that you do off a launcher. This is if you want to end it in dive kick so that you can set this up. So you can do, and then you get a free blood summon, or you can set up a cameo. This is going to be her 1-bar B&B. This one is a little tricky. You need to make sure that on this combo, you dash forward and that you hit the stand for as late as possible because you want the dive kick to hit early. Like that. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to get your jump in. So that one is a little tricky. This is the 1-bar B&B if you're near the corner. You can get a 2-4-2 in there at the end. This is going to be her meterless side switch. So you'll do it like this. Oops. This is going to be her meterless side switch. Like that. And if you want to spend a bar for the meterless side switch, you can do this. Oops. Like this. This is if you're starting off of 2-2-1. So you would do it like this. This is going to happen a lot in all of my combos, by the way. You're going to have to cancel after the third hit. So make sure that when you do 1-2-1-2, you input the whole string, but you cancel it after the third hit like this. So I'll do that one more time. You do it like that. This is if you want to spend a bar. Oops. Like that. This is going to be if you start with an air dash. So remember, you can do this off of any button that you start with an air dash. So like this, or with this. So we'll do it off of back two because this is going to be probably her best one. You would do it something like this. And on that combo, you want to make sure that when you do the jump 3, you whiff the dive kick. You don't have to worry about like the dive kick hitting. This is going to be off of a whiff punish. Very standard, same as the other combos. This is what you'll do if you get a whiff punish with her air dive kick. So you would do this, except you would neutral jump right there instead of jumping forward. Now I'm going to show you her corner combos. So off of 1-2, 1-2, you would do this. Make sure that you do a neutral jump right here. That's very important. You can also end it in back forward too, like this. But all of those are going to be neutral jumps. That's very important, otherwise it won't work. This is going to be her 1 bar if you want to do it off of that route. Very simple. Then you can do a jump forward right here. This combo is a little bit tricky. I'm not going to lie. This one is going to take some practice, but this is her absolute optimal 1 bar combo. You're going to walk back slightly right there. I can break this combo down for you as well. So basically on this combo, you need to walk back very slightly into stand 4. Because similar to the mid-screen combo, you want to hit the stand 4 as early as possible. So you're going to walk back slightly. And you can see even right there, I missed it because the dive kick didn't hit late. So you need to hit it just right. Like this. And of course, I messed up that part. Like that. There we go. And then if you want to spin 2 bars, you can actually spin a 2nd bar right there. And you can do this. Jump 3, back forward 2 at the end. Very simple. This would be her air dash starter in the corner. So you would do something like this. Similar to the mid-screen combo, except in the corner, you need to make sure that you jump back into jump 3. Otherwise, this is going to happen. You can see that it hits them, so you need to make sure that you jump back into jump 3. This is going to be if you whiff punish in the corner. So like say you do like stand 4, then you back dash into this. You can do something like this. Oh, not that. Very similar to the standard combo. Just like that, same route. And then lastly, this is going to be her dive kick combo in the corner. Very simple and similar to the other ones as well. Just like that. Now I'm going to show you her fatal blow combos. Now, unlike most characters, she can actually do her fatal blow in the air like this. So I'm going to start with her meterless route where you'll do this. I would also like to add that jump 2-4 into fatal blow works almost everything if you want to like improvise in a combo. This is going to be her 1 bar. And then if you want to cash out and you want to spend all 3 bars, you can do this. And then I know it's really fast, but at the end, you're going to do jump 3 fatal blow. Crazy damage. Now, in the corner, it's pretty similar to the other routes as well. This is going to be her meterless version. And then this is going to be her 1 bar fatal blow version. Of course, I messed it up. This is going to be her 1 bar corner version. Now I'm going to go over Kameo specific combos. These are going to be with the cameos that I think are pretty decent with her and the ones that I think you should know. But there could be a lot more. I'm just going to show you like the most important ones. So with Shijinko, if you steal a launcher from them, you can actually hit confirm your mid and your sweep off of one hit. So you can cancel it into forward assist like this. And from Asha, for example, you can steal this move. So this is what the combo would look like. Something like that. With Kung Lao, which arguably is probably her strongest cameo, she actually gets an armored launcher and he can combo with his spin, so you can do something like this. If you have no bar or something, you can go into spin. I highly recommend doing that. She can also, this is a very practical situation where I'd use her spit in a combo. You can do something like this. And then if you're in the corner, for example, you could even do something like this. And then you even get like a side switch. You see how you can combine the side switch and the spit combo? So it's actually really, really stylish. With Goro, you get really unique combos off some of her more niche strings, such as 4-3-4, for example. So I can show you that right now. Something like that. You can combo her sweep as well safely, which is really nice. And he can even combo her 3-4 string. Like that. If you decide to use Motaro as an assist, you actually also get access to a spit combo as well. So that would be an armored launcher, and his actually scales less than Lao, so that's something to take into consideration. But she could do something like this, for example. Oops, not that. So you can see that was meterless and that did a pretty decent amount. So the only thing that you need to keep in mind is that once you do the spit and you teleport, you need to walk up slightly. So let me do that one more time. Oops. Like that. Walk up slightly. Just like that. With Sub-Zero, you actually get the unique ability to combo her Blood Sacrifice mid-combo. So I'm going to demonstrate how much health you get back mid-combo. So I start with 760, so watch this. So I go from 760 to 840 mid-combo. So that's actually a really good perk of using Sub-Zero as an assist. The last really good cameo that I'll talk about with Nitara is Jax, and my opinion on this changes a lot, but I actually think Jax is probably her best cameo in most matchups. And there's something really interesting too with his energy wave. You can combo it in the corner, so you can do a mid. Remember, this is one of the issues that I think is probably her biggest, but in the corner, she can combo this. It's really difficult, but you can connect it down one into this. And it's a really good way to check your opponent from duck OSing in the corner. It gives her really good corner pressure. Last thing that I want to mention, just kind of as a little bonus, is that a lot of people like picking Serena as their cameo, but Nitara actually has a really good punish against this. So watch this. If I block Serena, watch what I can do. I get an entire trade combo, and it is so easy to do. Now, just for fun, I want to demonstrate how much damage you can get if you have all of your resources and you want to punish it. This may take me a few tries, so I apologize. Oh, never mind. Okay, first try. Like, that is just ridiculous. They cannot throw Serena on you at all. So that is a really good thing to know with her. And I thought that it was important to include in the guide. So now that I've covered everything, I kind of want to just close this video out with my thoughts on what I think about Nitara, what her strengths and weaknesses are. So I will say that I think at the moment Nitara is one of the worst characters in the game. I don't think that she's horrible, but I think some matchups are really, really difficult, such as Lee May, Raiden. Like, it's very hard to fight the top tier characters in this game, and I think that one of her main issues, as I said before, is she can't hit confirm her mid. It's really difficult to actually open somebody up because 1-2 is not a real auto shimmy. You can see the second hit is very slow. She doesn't have any real mix-ups. Her back two is like really slow. Of course, if you're floating around, it's not really the same as the other games because in this game you can up block, and at any point, if they up block one of your jump ins or jab it, you know, obviously in this game they do a lot of damage, so it's really difficult. Full screen, she doesn't really have much of a presence unless she has a cameo because she has no projectile. She has to get in on you. And lastly, I think one of her main issues is that this doesn't really have a huge use unless you meter burn it. And I hope that that's something that they touch on, but I will say that that is just my thoughts on the character. Maybe some people feel different, but in my 3 weeks of playing her, that is personally what I think about her. But that's gonna wrap it up for me. I want to mention that you can check everything out that I talked about in this video in the text version from the link in the description. And of course, if you like the video, make sure to leave a like and comment below with your thoughts. This was my first character guide, so I want to thank everyone who watched this, and thank you again to DashFight for asking me to make this.